We'll go.
There we go. Sorry. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a while, hasn't it? We're back with another In the Cockpit podcast. Sorry we've had to deprive you of the wonderful, the wonderful Sean, really, because don't worry about me. But Sean is here. Unfortunately, we've had a couple of weeks off just because it's been a bit of a hectic couple of weeks in terms of work and stuff for each other. So 1 week Sean can do it, and 1 week I can do it as well. So it's basically just been alternating. But we're back here now. We've managed to find the time to put on a little podcast for you again. So we do plan on continuing this, but unfortunately we had a bit of a hiatus. But firstly, what could you describe your background for me, Sean? Because what the hell is going on there?
I have no idea, but they look freaking amazing, don't they? Like they just like float in the background. So yeah, I'm tempted to get
you can see the TV as well in the background as well.
Oh, sugar! There you go. But this is my good side, though, so you'll have to put up with that.
You put it on the good side. Yeah, we'll just edit that out somehow. Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, I mean, how have you been? You've been all right. Well, you've been busy working, obviously. It seems like so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the week before, I think I repainted the Gloucester fountain because I was not very well. Unfortunately, I had the sickness bug and the diarrhea as well. So lovely image that. Annoyingly, they only just opened it the day before as well, so I'm not very popular after that. I didn't make it to the toilet.
Well, never mind then. We'll just publicly put that out on the internet and let them know. But yeah, okay. Well, at least you're all right now, which is good. So, you're on the mend, which is already good. We've got a couple of things to sort of cover. Obviously, firstly, going back to the HD side of things, in terms of your league racing career, we'll start off as we had which one was it? We've had Japan, and we've had USA, haven't we? That's it, if I can remember correctly. So you've been on some good form recently. You've been scoring some good points. You got points in Japan, and somebody's telling me that you got points in USA as well. So
I did. Yeah. I got fourth.
You got fourth in USA. Wow. Okay.
I know. I was going into that Grand Prix absolutely like negative, like a proper negative Nancy. Well, I didn't expect anything because I hate USA with passion. It's probably the three worst tracks on the game for me. Don't like it. But apart from me being a mobile chicane, luckily it rained and no one can get past me because I think I had a very low downforce setup. So basically, I was just quick in a straight line, but really slow in the corners. And yeah, it was just a conga line.
Yeah, it worked out in the end, didn't it? So that's good. But you say you came P4. We'll go back to USA, sorry, because we started off with Japan. Japan was obviously earlier on in the calendar. But how did your Japan race go as well? I mean, was there any rain in that one?
No.
All right, good stuff.
I think
there, so yeah, that's all.
Yeah, I can't remember Japan, to be honest. So all I know is I think I scraped points in the end. I think I got very lucky and reversed into points.
Well, you reversed in it, did you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I did go forward. They just came to me, really. So because I think people were just dropping out.
That's all right. Well, there's points in it, I suppose. I got points in Japan, by the way. Yeah, it was great.
You did, actually. You got a very good... You and Troy was smashed Japan, didn't you? Troy got his first win of his career. Congratulations. And then
Troy,
you got...
Yeah, Troy did.
Seventh?
I don't think I did.
Well, you're out of the relegation zone now, though, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. I want to get out of the relegation zone. It's a terrible place to be. Sorry, any Burnley fans. But low blow. But yeah, so like I said, it was... it sort of all fell into place. But Troy was exceptional in that race. And like I said, he qualified. He started qualifying really well as well, and he's really improved this season so far as we've seen as well as the race has sort of gone on. We originally was, I think, he wasn't actually meant to be in Division 1. In all honesty, and he requested to move up to Division 1, and well, he's lit it up really. I think he's probably one of the most improved drivers on the Division 1 grid as it stands at the moment, even in HDE probably as an most improved driver as well. And really, he's putting the focus, putting the time, and he's consistent driver, really clean driver as well. Very rarely, I don't think I've ever seen. Maybe I might have missed one, but I don't think I've ever seen him be reported for an incident or anything like that. He's been absolutely spectacular in terms of his respect on track as well with all the drivers, and fully deserved that win. I was in the party with him on the night, and he was ecstatic as well. So it's really good to hear. Well, it was a bit loud for my ears, but it was good to hear because like I said, he's had a few podiums here and there which have been well deserved as well, but he always wanted to get that win and go a step further, and in Japan he sort of clinched it, which is really good to see. But the race in Japan, I think it was a bit chaotic, wasn't it, in Division 1?
Well, it's fantastic.
I think it is in pretty much every league, and I think it has been in most divisions as well so far in HD. Well, we've already finished it in HD as well, because it just sort of lends itself to making unforced errors, making mistakes, doesn't it? I think that track.
Yeah, it's a driver's circuit, isn't it, Japan? It's where if you nail it, then you're absolutely on fire. And I think Troy did nail it that day. And people were just tripping over each other as well. I think the pressure was on McLaren to seal the deal for the constructors, and unfortunately, they just Blaze had a. He was doing well, and then all of a sudden it just went peak tongue. Danger Times also slipped back as well, got into the midfield before coming back in. Very, very close to win the title. I think he's like 6 points away from winning it. So
I think it's 7 because no, I think it might be 8 because there's 4. We haven't had the Division 1 race around USA yet, have we? Because that means there's 4 races to go. So that means there's 104 points on offer for any driver potentially. Technically, I think he's 97 points ahead. So technically, I think he needs to score or outscore his teammate Blaze by 8 points in USA to get that confirmed. So I'm sure it won't be a difficult task for him. I'm sure he's relishing the challenge. But I think we might see a Division 1 winner as well very soon in HD, and of course we'll make that announcement as well when that comes in the server and on the socials as well. Because it's always good to be at the drivers who've accomplished something pretty good and pretty great. So I wish I could do that.
It will come, Alex. It will come.
I don't think so. I think my days of actually racing for titles is long gone already. Back in 2018 game that was, I think.
You did get 3 wins. You did get 3 wins in season 5, though.
Oh, I must have got very lucky.
Well, you did on one of them.
On all of them.
I'm sure that the first win you got actually was very contentious because Cartboy, I think, won, but he got a penalty, didn't he, for overtaking under the safety car or something like that.
Oh, I definitely enforced that one then.
Oh, definitely. It's good being admin.
Sometimes.
Not all the time.
Like I said, I think it's actually been enjoyable. The races that I've enjoyed most, apart from my Division 1 races where I've actually been sort of working with my teammate and talking to Troy during the races and actually just trying to help him in most cases as well. I mean, I do remember back to Japan as well, funnily enough. There was a safety car that came out and I just pit for softs or something like that, not just pit. I had a few laps on the softs, and he was going to come in from the lead of the race, and I was basically like, well, I'll just put it on. I'll put it on the line, and I'll not pit to hold up people who are faster than me. So when they come out behind me, then obviously he's got a bit more of a rear gunner, if you would. I don't think I was that high up either, but at least it kept a few people behind that would have been probably fighting him for the lead of the race, to be honest. But I think I said it was just playing the team game on that one as well, and I mean, there's not much I can do to help Troy because everybody else in Division 1 is pretty fast, or just much faster than myself anyway. So I'm just there to help wherever I can for Troy, to be honest. So it was good to see him get the win on that one.
It definitely was, yeah. Troy, as you mentioned, Troy has been fantastic. I think that apart from Troy, Danger Times has been superb. It's just consistency for Danger Times has been fantastic. I think he's got 10 or 11 podiums, something like that, or 12 now.
Yeah.
Gosh, and but Troy, fifth position this season. I think last season he finished down in 15th or 14th. He did have a good strong end to last season, to be fair to him, but up until Mexico, I think he really struggled. But yeah, this season Troy has been magnificent, and personally, I still think coming to the end of the season awards and stuff like that, obviously my opinion don't count because it's the big man Paul that's going to be doing all the voting and stuff. But I think Danger Times edges it for me for driver of the season. But Troy's definitely a close second. And just asking you actually, yeah, you've got because I think you mentioned about having 3 wins a couple of seasons ago. How hard is it to put in your race on the line for Troy? Does it hurt doing that? Because you used to be team leader, you used to be right up there. How difficult is that to process? Because I'd say a bit of a Felipe Massa at the moment.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment because I think Massa did pretty well in the sport of F1. But yeah, no, like I said, if I'm competing for any points, it's pretty much a good result for me. But yeah, I wanted to obviously try to get that win, and obviously he'd been in the lead of the race from pretty much from the get go. Really, I mean, I think it was a couple of laps in that he actually claimed the lead. And he was under pressure from then as well, from all the guys in Division One who were right behind him, like the likes of, like you said, of Danger Times, Blaze, Epic the Animal as well, and Sly Guy, that sort of thing as well. So they were all really fast drivers who were going to be putting the pressure on him anyway. So yeah, it wasn't really a thought really. It was just, oh well, I'll stay out to keep people behind, sort of thing. Even if it's only for a few corners, because like I said, in most cases they blitz past me anyway. So yeah, it was just seeing where my teammate was at the time anyway. There was a reason for me to do it anyway. So I thought, for the sake of him getting his win, why not? And obviously, he still had to do a lot of work after that safety car as well. I mean, there was still a lot of pressure on him from the guys who were ahead of me and behind him. So, it wasn't. It was definitely not down to just me doing that gave him the win. He 100% earned it himself, and had to fight for it himself, literally from the very beginning laps anyway. So, yeah, there's anything I can do in Division One to help Troy, help Aston Martin. Obviously, the team that I'm in as well. It's a team sport at the end of the day, even though usually it comes down to sort of individuals and the driver specifically, doesn't it? I think, but at the end of the day, it's a constructor and a team that is building the car, putting the car on the grid, and just putting two people into the two cars, really, isn't it? So yeah, I see it as a team sport, and that's why you see the McLarens in Division One doing so well. The likes of the McLarens as well in Division Six, for example, as well. J Dog and Dynamo Dan. We've seen Sean as the Ferrari drivers in Division Six. They have a bit of a rivalry going on at the moment, but we'll get onto that. And then, I think there's quite. We saw earlier on Aston Martin in Division Four, and Mini Ramsel and Game Thyman as well when he stepped in as well. Did a good job. So I think that element of working together with your teammate, regardless of your pace, because like I said, I don't have the pace to be competing for Division One, in my personal opinion. And the points that I've got have been based, like you just said, on races where there's instances where it's gone in my favour. Like you said in Japan as well, I've sort of reversed into the points there, and it happened to go well for me. So yeah, I'll take it. But yeah, I think there's definitely the element of teamwork is more important to me than me scoring points myself. I mean, I was preparing to be dropping out of the points in that race, purely because I thought, well, I'm just going to hold them up for a few corners, and then they're going to blitz past me. But luckily, they didn't. Thankfully for me, so I got some points as well as an extra reward. But no, the main reward was Troy getting that win, because he, like I said, all season he's been pushing hard. Like I said at the beginning, he wasn't meant to be in the division because he said he couldn't race in the division at the time, and he didn't think he was going to be quick enough. And then he sort of said, well, let me put the focus in, let me put the time in, and I'm actually going to give it my best shot. And he's stuck at it. He's barely missed a race in Division One either. I think he has missed a couple here and there just for holidays and stuff like that, obviously. But He's barely missed a race, and he's literally
No
stuck at it.
commitment.
Take your PlayStation with you.
Yes.
He's stuck at it literally for every race, and whether it's been a bad race for him or not, he's come back stronger the next race, sort of thing as well. And I think you can actually see that as well in the standings, where the races that he hadn't scored points in the next race, he'll come back and he'll actually get some points as well. So he's come back with a stronger mentality each time. He's had a bit of a setback as well, which is really good to see.
Definitely, and going forward then, for next season for you then, do you have a? I know the 2022 game hasn't come out yet, but how excited are you about the cars, and do you think it's going to suit you?
Sorry, I'm doing my.
Porpoise. No, what's it called?
Porpoising. I'm doing my porpoising impression. Yeah, I can't wait for that to be in the game. Well, I'm actually absolutely buzzing for the new game. I'm buzzing for the new game every time it gets released. But I think this time, well, I pray that this time it's going to be a lot more of a complete package. I expect it to be a lot more well balanced in terms of technically actually the game working and that sort of thing. There being less glitches, fingers crossed. Really hoping for that, because I think the focus has been on this game because it's the first sort of game where it's not EA making it. Obviously, Codemasters are still doing the design and actually the manufacturing of the software and that sort of thing. But I think this is where the focus of EA now being the owner of the Formula One franchise on PlayStation or on console now, is this is its game. I think F1 2021 was more right. Codemasters are dealing with it, but EA have now bought the rights to it. But Codemasters have done all the work on this game, although I think they basically did a bad job. Let's put it that way. They didn't do their best job because I think they were probably dealing with other things in the background, like the EA takeover and that sort of stuff as well. So I think that the 2022 game is going to be brilliant, and it's going to have no glitches. The racing is going to be amazing because you'll be able to follow a bit closer. The cars look amazing, and I think it's going to be just a fantastic game in total. And I'm saying that very slowly because I'm just thinking of all the things that are going to go wrong now. But yeah, no, really keen for the new game to come out, and I think there's a lot of more exciting features that have been added as well that we've heard about already, like the sort of pit stop timer and that sort of thing, and sort of the sort of cutscenes and whatnot as well, and that sort of stuff as well. So I think that's mainly sort of career mode stuff really, but maybe I'll dabble in career mode for the first time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it because I think like I said, the development of the game now and the focus on it, the attention on it, the growth of the the growth of the F1 game franchise, if you will, now, because obviously it's been sort of taken over. Year on year has expanded, so there's more and more people with their eyes on it who are buying the game, even who are bringing that attention to the game, bringing more attention to the game, playing the game more, and that number of people is growing and growing pretty much year on year. I think as I've seen from the stats, so I expect the trend to carry on, and I expect that the reason for this game coming out early as well, I think, is trying to capture even more of the attention on that as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I think it's going to be. Oh God, do I say that? I was going to say I think it's going to be the best F1 game ever.
Ooh, controversial.
I've said it now, and I'm going to have to dig my grave.
I'll hold you to that when it comes out, because what is your favourite F1 game up to date then?
For online or for just
in general?
I liked, which one was one of the first one? 2010 was my first one, but it wasn't my favourite, I don't think, overall. 2013, I always remember. Yeah, 2013 for just enjoying the Formula One game experience sort of thing, but it was only sort of career mode sort of stuff or offline stuff. And then the 2018 game for online, and then very close behind 2018 for online as well, 2020. So both 2018, 2020. I seem to like the for the online games anyway, for the online experience, the even numbers, and I don't know why. 2019 I just hated, and then 2021. It's not been bad, but it's not been as good as 2018 or 2020 in my opinion, in terms of my personal experience of racing on it. Purely because on the 2018-2020 games I've been faster than what I was on 2021, so that's why it's ranked a bit lower. But yeah, that's my sort of thoughts on it anyway. So
Very nice.
what's your favorite F1 game then? In terms of in just your experience of it, you don't have to worry about the online bit.
Formula 1 2006 on PlayStation 3.
Sounds good.
Easy. I love the career. It's fantastic. Where you had where you got a BlackBerry and you got text by Super Guri and all them kind of teams. It was great.
Jesus,
and
all right. No, I don't
yeah,
remember that.
I remember I worked my rear keister off to get into. I think it was Toro Rosso in the end. No, or Midland. I can't remember which one it was though. But I was sweating buckets from just doing this aggregate lap time, and it took me forever. I think I did. And back then as well, I refused to lower the difficulty because I wanted to make it as realistic as possible. And in the end, I think I just got the Super Aguri because I was too rubbish.
I think the very first F1 game I played was 2001, and it was on PC. It was just sorry.
I was expecting the PlayStation 2 version because that was absolutely beautiful when it first came out. Is it? Is it? Okay, because I thought they were different.
Game, yeah.
I don't know, because Harry Potter has different games, doesn't it? Because if it's a PC port, it's different to the PlayStation port, isn't it? And all that kind of stuff.
Oh, maybe it was different, then I don't know. Well, yeah. Well, anyway, that was great fun. To be fair, I had a joystick. Loved it. Gotta love the joystick.
Oh, indeed, I miss my joystick.
Oh, have you lost it? What's happened to your joystick?
I had to get rid of it.
Anyway, we'll move on from that. Yeah, so we sort of got sidetracked a bit there talking about our favourite F1 games, but we'll move on to sort of USA now. Obviously, we've had a few rounds of USA as well in HDE, and we've also had the Miami Grand Prix, which was not in Austin, Texas, but in Miami. But we'll talk about that as well in a bit. But in terms of the US Grand Prix, is not one that I ever see anybody say is one of their favourites to race on. It's not one of yours, is it? I'm guessing, because judging by the shake of the head.
No, I think it's in my bottom three for race circuits,
Really?
and it's so disappointing as well because I'm sure they had a blank canvas to to do this new circuit, and I feel that they took pieces of other circuits and kind of just pull it down, and I feel that. Yeah, the first sector, if you get it right on time trial, is amazing. But then after that, I'm just like, ugh. It's a bit bland after that. With the technical third sector is okay, but it's I don't know. It's just when they had a whole landscape to do whatever they wanted, and I feel that they butchered it. To be honest. That's my opinion.
Yeah, it's not one of my exactly that as well. It's not one of the worst tracks of those, I suppose, but it's not one of my favourites either, to be honest. But it's just a track that's there, I suppose, and when it comes around to it, you race on it, sort of thing, and when you turn up. But it's not a favourite of mine either. But like I've said, it's just it seems like it's in terms of the race calendar in league racing and in Formula One as well, it seems like a bit of a sort of filler race anyway, as it's just something to add in just to sort of have an American race. And obviously now with what's going on, as we'll move on to Miami, what's going on with the sort of Formula One aspect in America is obviously they want to try and grow the brand, grow the sort of interest, and grow the sort of spectators from that side of the world. Which I think is definitely going to happen, or already has happened, I suppose, in a way, with the Miami Grand Prix, which we had 2 weeks ago now, 2 and a bit weeks ago now. Skipped a weekend, didn't it? So yeah. So what was your thoughts when watching the Miami Grand Prix in real life? And are you are you excited for the Miami Grand Prix in league racing?
Yes.
Good stuff. Yeah, I am as well. I think. Well, to be fair, I like that. I like any new track, to be honest. But to start with, so
I don't really know why I'm like looking forward to it, but I just am. And going back to the real Miami Grand Prix, I was there's a lot of like anticipation, a lot of like fanfare and pizzazz going into it, and I wasn't really sold on it. And looking from the track map as well, I was like, this doesn't feel very exciting. But going into the actual qualifying and going into practice, I really enjoyed it. I loved all the carnival atmosphere. I found it amazing when Verstappen was being police escorted to the to the podium and only getting and Christian Horner getting run over. That was fantastic. I mean,
shame he didn't really. But,
well,
sorry, Christian.
we love you really. Helmut Marko's not I'm a fan of. Anyway, let's not get personal.
He can get run over.
But yeah, I thought I must admit I wasn't sold on it, but it's quite funny as well of how I don't know how basic us F1 fans are really, because we just got so excited about this harbour with no water in it. That was the whole pizzazz throughout all of the week going up to it was this fake harbour. I absolutely loved it. It was everywhere on Instagram and all that. It was even like being chatted in our HDE Discord as well about this like non-existent harbour. It's fantastic, isn't it?
It went further than Monaco's gone so far anyway. So it's basically just been like, well, we'll copy what they're doing over there and then just paste it and do a bit bigger over here. But yeah, it was a bit strange that. Well, it was quite funny as well, to be honest. But no, I think racing wise, it proved to be an entertaining race in terms of how the cars could follow each other, negotiate the track as well at the same time, and then that way I think it was quite close racing, and it was good to see well, good to see a new track on the calendar really, because like I said, it'd be nice if they introduced lots more new tracks, but they just can't physically fit them in. But for some reason whenever there's a new track announced, even for Vietnam, for example, and that sort of thing, a lot of people were skeptical of the track layout of the format, and it's always been something like whenever a new track sort of added to the calendar, we haven't raced on it before. Nobody's actually raced F1 on it before, like for example in Miami as well. I'm always optimistic, basically, put it that way. I'd rather be optimistic about it rather than think, oh, it doesn't look like a great racing track, so it'll probably be a boring race, that sort of thing. I think it actually proved the opposite in this case, which was really good to see. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with Miami in total. Pretty pleased with Bottas as a driver as well, because I think Mercedes should sign him. I think he's a quality driver. I think they should get him in one of the seats in replace of Hamilton, I think. At the moment, anyway. But yeah, so no, I think like I said, it's been an impressive sort of first few races from the Alfa Romeo team as well, I suppose. But most remarkably is Bottas, I think, because he's been competing for like 4th, 5th, 6th, that sort of thing as well, and getting some really good points.
Maybe I'm being a bit harsh on Guan Yu Zhou, but I think it's more Bottas than Alfa Romeo. Yeah, they got a good car, but Guan Yu Zhou is either not pulling his weight or Bottas is doing really well. And I think it's Bottas doing really well, to be honest, because he's doing superb. I think all the races he's finished in, he's actually scored points, which is fantastic. But yeah, I feel that Guan Yu Zhou needs to. I'm hoping that it's not the case, because to be fair, he really impressed. Well, he doesn't need to impress me, but I thought he was really good in Bahrain and was in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is alright as well.
I will say, we predicted at the beginning of the season when we did our predictions, Sean. We both predicted that Guan Yu Zhou wasn't going to score any points, and then he went to Bahrain and scored straight away. So,
how much do we know?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're F1 fans, but we don't have a clue about F1 basically. So that's what you can gather from that. So, but yeah, so I think like I said, good to have Miami on the calendar. Sorry again, and like I said, we've got the Las Vegas Strip race not a strip race. It's a race around on the strip. Sorry, of Las Vegas.
Oh,
Sorry, I just had to correct that. Yeah, but that's coming up as well. Was it 2024 or was it 2023?
2023, isn't it? I think.
Which one? Yeah, yeah, I can't remember which one. Yeah, anyway, gonna have 3 American races basically. And I think actually, how well Miami did, and I'm obviously hoping that Las Vegas can compete or at least be the similar sort of thing like that. If they're going to drop a race out of the 3, I think it's actually going to be Austin.
I hope so.
So there we go then. We need to get Sean on the board for the FIA, and then that's done and dusted.
Oh, you don't want that. I mean, some of my decisions there was like, whoa. Keep Spa, I would. There's I'll get rid of Spain.
Well, no, but yeah, keep Spa. Oh, well, to be fair, we'll go on to Spain then if you like, because we had the Spanish Grand Prix on Sunday. Sunday just gone anyway, and I was going to say it's probably one of the most entertaining Spanish Grand Prix that I've seen, which says something because it wasn't amazingly entertaining, but it was still pretty entertaining, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. So, and I think again the small change to the layout, and then the change to the cars more significantly has helped that because, like I said earlier, they can follow a lot closer now, and obviously around Spain, I think that was the issue before, is that being in the dirty air around that circuit in previous seasons was just you just couldn't get any overtakes because you'd have to wait, you'd have to stay too far back originally just to make sure your car didn't overheat, make sure your tyres were in the right sort of temperature window, that sort of thing. And then when you went into that dirty air, unless you were, well, as you need to be really now, but unless you were over a second faster than the car in front of you, and you were guaranteed that overtake. Unless you weren't, or sorry, if you weren't, then you just have to sit behind and deal with it. You look like you were about to say something.
No, sorry, I'm itching my turn. It's been bothering me. Anyway, carry on.
I thought you were just going to lean forward and whisper something there.
It depends if this goes private or not.
Afterwards, don't worry. Afterwards, but yeah, I think that's really so. The new regulations have worked, in my opinion, especially at Spain, because it has allowed a lot more overtaking, a lot more interesting things to happen, and we saw something good from Mercedes, in my opinion, or something promising from Mercedes, in my opinion. I don't know if you want to touch on that bit, but yeah.
I've heard whispers from the so-called experts that Hamilton was on the same pace when he was coming through the field as Verstappen and Leclerc before he retired. So that is quite amazing to see and read. From a neutral, that's fantastic. I mean, even from a Hamilton fanboy like myself. But more importantly, is there's 3 teams now in that. Yeah, whoop whoop. There's there's 3 teams now battling for like a win each weekend. I can't say 6 drivers because Carlos Sainz has been pretty disappointed in my opinion, and Perez unfortunately got told to get out of the way, so he's a proper number 2 driver now. Unfortunately, which I'm a bit disappointed by, to be honest, but I understand it because, you know, when you want to win a title, you cannot take the risks and all that kind of jazz. But yeah, it's really good to see. And George Russell finished in every race he's been in, he's finished in the top 5, absolutely smashing that for consistency. But he might need a little bit more if he wants to get a win.
Yeah, I think we saw him obviously. Well, I don't think. Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know where those stats have come from. To be honest, about the sort of Lewis Hamilton pace, because if that's true, then, in my opinion, George was underperforming in that Spanish Grand Prix.
Yeah,
because he was having to defend massively to keep the Red Bull behind. If Lewis is running at the same pace as Verstappen was, and then Leclerc was as well before he retired, then George is going to be eaten up by Lewis.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And by the way, those stats came from the race, by the way. So it's them to blame, not me. I just,
Well,
I'm sure that
the source has been identified.
so blame them. I'm sure that Ted Kravitz said something about it as well when I was watching The Notebook. But then again, I wasn't really watching it. I was getting ready for HDE Japanese Grand Prix, which was quite important at the time for me because I was trying to make sure my maths was right. So, which is still
maths is right.
Well, we all know about my bad maths, don't we? I think Emerson hasn't forgiven me for when I missed his title crowning in Singapore a couple of seasons ago. So
It's all right. We'll spit a graphic out for him.
Yeah, 2 years later, we'll get there in the end.
Yeah, that's all right. Now, like I said, I think what we saw, obviously, at that point, obviously, the Ferrari of Sainz had his issues. Leclerc had retired, and then we saw sort of Verstappen trying to put the pressure on George Russell, who effectively was the race leader at that point, because the guys retiring in front of him. And obviously, Max had the DRS issues, so was struggling to overtake the Mercedes. And I think if he had the DRS working properly, especially down the main straight, he would have just breezed past him and probably got out of DRS range quite quickly. So I don't think that the Mercedes is there yet. If the sort of stats are right from the sources we've identified already, then I think, like you said, we'll like to say with Bottas and Zhao Zhu. Sorry,
Joe.
Joe. Then I think you'll have the same sort of comparison or similarity between the two, but on a bit of a closer scale, where you'll have Lewis being able to maximise more of that out of that car, which we can obviously clearly see that he wasn't able to do before the Spanish Grand Prix. And then you'll see George sort of not fade away, but start losing out a bit more to Lewis in terms of the points scored, overall race results, that sort of thing. Because Lewis will be able to have that sort of experience to bring him up closer to the Ferraris and the Red Bulls, that sort of thing as well, if they finish the race, that is. So I was going to say something about reliability in terms of what Ferrari and Red Bull have both faced so far this season. Haven't seen anything major like that from Mercedes just yet, so that is keeping them within the shout, I think, to potentially, now they've got a better car, potentially.
They haven't. But they haven't. I think that they're the only team to finish both cars to finish the races, aren't they? I think they're the only team to do that on the grid, something like that.
Well, from my point of view, touch wood, it's going to carry on. But
some strong wood there.
Some hard wood. But yeah, I mean, as I said, I want both the British guys, all the British guys as well, including Norris, but both the British guys and the Mercedes to do well because, they've been doing a good job so far this season with what they've got, and massive improvements obviously from for the Spanish Grand Prix, which is good to see from my point of view. Again, from a neutral point of view as well, I want to see more than 3 teams. I want to see all 10 teams fighting for the win. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But yeah, having Mercedes sort of come back to add to the fight between the Ferrari and the Red Bull, it'll spice things up with Christian Horner, which is always going to be more drama and everything as well. I'm sure Netflix are rubbing their hands at Mercedes getting back to form as well, so that'll be good to get some more battles in there. But yeah, I think from a neutral point of view, rather than just having the old, as we've had in the last couple of seasons, 2-team rivalry for the top, or 2-team battle for the top, having 3 teams up there would be, well, like I said, having more than 3 teams even would be better, but having 3 teams up there to literally all 6 drivers, obviously if Sainz can get himself onto the track or keep himself on the track, that would be good. Then yeah, it'd be fantastic to have that sort of throughout the rest of the season as well, especially with the races that we've got coming up as well. So yeah, looking forward to that one definitely. But yeah, I think like I said, it's good to have a bit of a turnaround. Obviously, we saw Max easily get the win as well. Obviously, Leclerc retired, Sainz was having his difficulties, and Perez was told just to get out of the way from him. So yeah, I don't see Perez getting a win this season, unfortunately, unless Max is out of the race completely, because they will always favour Max, and obviously we saw in Spain get out of the way basically like Just brought him in for a pit stop that he didn't really need even as well to just get out of the way of his teammate and drop 20 seconds behind him. So
can't blame him though, can you? I mean, we all say,
oh no,
team
no, no,
orders.
I don't. Well, that's exactly that. As I don't think. Well, they've clearly got a number one driver and a number two driver. They have had that set out for a long time since Perez joined, even or since before Perez joined, as Max was already the first driver before then as well. So there's I think if any situation where you've got that, if that was Ferrari, I think Ferrari, and that was Leclerc chasing down Sainz, I think they switched them around. If it was, well, I don't know about Mercedes right now, but I'd say if it was Lewis chasing down George, I think they switched them around, and I think there is an order given from the team boss to switch the cars around. Even lower down the grid, we see it. Even it not necessarily for points, but even just if a car's faster than the other, and they just say, right, well, we saw it with the Haas as well, didn't we, in the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm faster than, well, I think it was Magnussen, wasn't it? He was faster than Mick, or was it the other way around? There's too many M's. Either way around, one of them said he was faster than the other, and they switched the cars around, and then they got an opportunity to try and overtake the car in front of whoever it was. So it is not just big. Like I think the reason why it was given so much attention is because it is for the lead of the race, for the win of the race, effectively as well, which it was. But yeah, it's a team game, and they're not just obviously for the driver's point of view. They're doing it to heighten the chances of the driver who's further ahead in the championship, which is obvious and fair enough, which you should do, in my opinion. Actually, I think obviously it'd be nice to have both drivers battle, but at the end of the day, if both drivers DNF'd, then that team is going to look stupid as hell because they didn't say it. Well, they didn't say anything about. Yeah, well, they didn't say anything to drivers to stop battling, so they battled and they DNF'd. Well, that's cost you. Well, it's cost you 44 points in total. If you had, Max had the fastest lap, didn't he, as well? Cost you 44 points in total for the whole race, and it's cost you thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds to repair the cars, all the sponsorship stuff that's gone with it as well. If you got both cars 1 and 2 on the podium, that's a hell of a lot of money coming to your team as well, isn't it? So
yeah. It's like Alpine, Saudi Arabia, wasn't it? Where they were fighting, and Otmar was just like, "Oh yeah, just let them fight." But I did feel that they were losing so much time just fighting each other, and they probably could have maximised the opportunity a bit more. I can't remember because I'm sure that didn't Alonso have an issue in the end or something like that, where his car broke down anyway. But they was fighting over a decent,
Saudi,
they was fighting over a decent 6th and 7th or something like that, and they were fighting so hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. But from a team perspective, it was a bit like missed opportunity there. I think if Alonso didn't retire, that might have been a bit more heightened. I don't know.
Yeah, and like I said, like you said, it's a money-driven sport at the end of the day. So, what's going to give you more money? Having both cars on the podium, or having both cars battle for a couple of laps and then ending up in the wall, or ending up not in the points or something like that, or whatever happens in the end. So it's just logical for the drivers to be switched around in whichever team it is, and just because it was for P1 and P2, and it was Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez, and it was Red Bull, it doesn't make a difference really, just because it was the attention on those three factors really, wasn't it? That's all. Like if any other team going for the win there, or going for a 1-2 there, would switch them around, I think, as well to favour their number one driver as well. So
definitely, and that's where the money's paid out, is in the constructors. So that's what the teams would definitely focus on.
And I think, especially with the caps and stuff now as well, any sort of prize money or anything like that you can gain over your competitors, I think is going to be even more of an edge, I suppose, in some ways, because it's basically just funding the development for next season or seasons after, so you don't have to spend as much out of your own pocket.
I've heard the whisper about Christian Horner saying that that some teams are going to struggle to meet the budget cap at the end of the season.
I expect most teams to probably exceed the budget cap anyway, especially with the sort of numbers of employees. I don't think there's anything that's actually drastically changed in terms of the operations of a Formula One team from last season to this season. The costs are going to be the same. or roughly the same. So I don't see how they're going to be able to limit the spending, especially because obviously they've got to reduce the spending over the seasons as well in the future as well. It's not just a budget cap and that's it. It's going to be the budget cap's going to be reduced slowly over time as well. So yeah, and when we're like, it just naturally prices don't go down; they go up. Just generally in life, as we've seen in life as well. Damn fuel prices.
Inflation.
Well, yeah, there you go. So, well, we've seen the fuel price go up for general people. What it would go up for Formula One cars as well. Why wouldn't it?
They're going green though. Don't worry.
Oh, if they're all going green, we're going to have to look like Aston Martin.
I struggle with the colours anyway. Yeah. To be honest, actually, I would say more green, but no, I want different colours. Bring Renault back.
We need yellow back for sure. We need yellow. But I like what Alpine have gone a bit more pink now, so it's a bit better. So, so maybe get another yellow car, a Lamborghini or something, and make it yellow. That'd be right. Lamborghini's usually yellow. That's fine.
Andretti. And they red and yellow. I don't know.
Andretti going to be yellow? I thought they were going to be white and something else.
Awful.
Not yellow. I don't know. Well, we'll have to find out.
Get Jordan back. Best team ever.
Oh yes, Eddie would be great as another team boss back on the grid. That'd be great.
Yeah. To be fair, that's one thing the Formula One's missing now is like a
is an Eddie
plucky...
Jordan.
Oh, definitely an Eddie Jordan. Paul Stoddart from Minardi was fantastic. I loved him.
Yes, get them all in. That'd be great. Have them all back in. That'd be fantastic.
No, seriously, that is what F1 is missing now. Is a plucky underdog team like a Minardi, like bringing in like Fernando Alonso's, Mark Webber's, and all that kind of stuff. I don't see that anymore with these driver academies and all that kind of stuff.
You should have backed William Story to take over Haas, then, shouldn't you? Really?
Oh, I should have done. Well, I would
have had a plucky guy on the grid.
Gosh, don't get me wrong. He was so bad for the Haas team, and I felt so sorry for him. But it was so entertaining. It's the British Grand Prix. I loved it.
All the stories that were coming out about him was just getting more funnier and funnier as they went along, basically as well, weren't they? And I've still never seen a can of Rich Energy like him physically. So.
No, have I? Actually, I think I have, but yeah, I didn't buy it because I think that I rather went for the Red Bull.
Should have gone for the Monster instead.
I should have done, really, shouldn't I, being a Hamilton fanboy? Because that would have gone 50p would have gone in his pocket.
Would it?
I don't know. Is he endorsed by them or something? I don't know.
He's sponsored by them, yeah, but I don't know how much he gets from each sale of a can of Monster. If he got 50p for each one, that'd be pretty good, I reckon.
Yeah, because only a quid, aren't they? I don't know.
I think they're a bit more than that, but anyway.
I don't buy them anymore because I go to the self-service portal and I don't like to ask for help. So,
oh man. There we go. Well, that's the we've got a lowdown on Sean's buying habits at Tesco's. That's good. So
every little helps.
Get that club card on the go. You'll be right. Get a discount.
I've lost
I'll send you mine, but it's only going to go on my club card points, isn't it? So,
well,
I've got two. Well, they're for the same. Yeah, but they sent
really?
me two when I signed up. Yeah, so I've got two now. Yeah.
So if you use two, does that mean you only get like £1.50 meal deals?
Well, no, it's the same. It's the same club card. It's just two copies of it. So if I scan it twice, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, that's a bit naff, isn't it? Okay.
I could try it. But yeah, anyway. Getting back to the Formula 1 side of things, which is what we started this podcast about. Yeah, we've got, obviously, in HD, we'll just sort of wrap it up now with the sort of upcoming rounds and things like that. In HD, of course, we're finishing off the USA round, which is going to be round 20, of course, of HD. We've only got 3 rounds left after USA, of course, Mexico, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. And that will be the first season, actually, of HD sort of wrapped up in about 3 or 4 weeks. So that'll be... yeah, well, it's been an exciting season overall, but of course we'll do a bit more of a summary as we get towards the end of the season as well. And of course there'll be more details about the next season, things like that, coming out in the Discord, that sort of thing, on the socials and whatnot as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a pleasure to have a chat with you again. It's been, like I said, a long few weeks. Been good to get back. But yeah, let us know what you'd like us to talk about for the next podcast. Of course, if you want to pop it in the comments or just send us a message on Discord, that sort of thing as well. And yeah, if there's any sort of tier lists or anything like that you want us to do before the season closes as well, let us know. Or if you want to come on the podcast as well, we're happy to have you. Well, I am. I don't know about Sean, but yeah, we're always looking for guests. So if you want to jump on and be a guest, even if you've been a guest before, I suppose we can get you back on as well. That's not a problem. So yeah, come on and have a chat, and yeah, we'll find some topics to talk about and discuss your love for F1 as well. But yeah.
Before you wrap it up, let's just say one thing about, of course, the first ever ALR World Champion, Nigel, won the Division 4 title in Japan, I think it was. So congratulations to Nigel. So
behind you somewhere.
I don't know. For some reason, I look up at that spot when I'm commentating as well, and I'm trying to figure out what his stat is. I look up to there for some reason. I don't know why. It's a good job doing on my webcam when I'm commentating, because gosh, I look a mess. But but no, congratulations to Nigel. First drivers champion of the season, so supreme stuff there. So I got a soft spot for Nigel because I've been commentating on him since almost all 7 seasons I've been doing this malarkey. So yeah, congratulations to Nigel.
Yeah, well deserved as well. First driver out of all 7 divisions to win the title, and it's yeah, it's been consistency that's done it as well. I think in terms of what he's actually how he's been performing. Sorry, in all the races from the get go in Bahrain all the way up to Japan as well. Round 19, of course, he's still got a few races to go, but yeah, he's clinched the title in 19 rounds, and yeah, consistency has been the key. Even when he's not been having a good race, he's managed to get back into the points and get a result out of that race as well. So yeah, all credit to him and congratulations to him as well.
No, I'm done, Alex.
No, you're done, all right. Nice one. No, well, congratulations to Sean for being done. Well,
I don't think that's congratulations, but I've been done for yours.
Oh, anyway, we'll hopefully see you next week as well, Sean. But yeah, we'll sign it off for now, and we'll come back to you hopefully next week for another In the Cockpit podcast. Thanks very much for watching.
Ciao for now.